I got to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Let's talk about it!
Wow!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and I am back with a brand new video. So recently, my wife and I decided to go to Fan Expo again this year, even though she's pregnant, and we already have a little one who likes to literally dismantle everything. So I took my little bean, strapped him on my back, and we went to Fan Expo. While I was there, I got to play 3 games: Medieval, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and of course, the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Make sure to stay tuned and subscribe as I will be talking about Link's Awakening. I already talked about my thoughts on Medieval, and you can check that out in the card in the top right corner. The Final Fantasy VII Remake is, how do I put it in words? Breathtaking, amazing, shockingly good. There are many amazing things that could be said about this game. However, right off the hop, I gotta say, Square Enix did an awful job of explaining how the battling works in the game. See, when I first saw the actual gameplay of the upcoming remake, it looked a lot like Kingdom Hearts 3, and to be honest, I was a tad disappointed because I really enjoyed the original game's mechanics, and for them to be essentially dumped made me a little bit underwhelmed and a bit less hyped for the game. But as I picked up the controller for the first time, those doubts washed away. I was able to try the game twice so I could really dig into my own self-analysis of the game. The first time you start, you're going to be in for a bit of a shock in terms of controls. Everything is pretty much self-explanatory. You hit enemies with hacking and slashing. As you do this, your AP meter begins to rise. When the bar is filled, it allows you to be able to cast an ability like Cloud's Braver. If it hits, you get some of that AP back. If it misses, well, you're out of luck. If you land enough hits and abilities, you get access to your Limit Break, which is essentially your ultimate attack. Another really important aspect of Final Fantasy VII is knowing who to switch to during a fight. You see, you can't just be on Cloud the whole time. Some characters deal with others very differently and more efficiently. For example, if there are targets at a distance that Cloud can't actually reach, you need to switch to Barret, who uses his gun to be able to hit those people at a distance. This brings a new depth of gameplay that is unique to the franchise, forcing you to have to think tactically and not to be a one-trick pony. However, where the game gets its roots from the original is when you press X. When you do, you enter tactical mode, and this is where the game gets interesting. From here, you can queue up your entire party's next moves and attacks in slow motion, whether it be to use items to heal one another, casting a spell, or synchronizing everyone's limit breaks. This aspect of the game feels like a callback to the original when it came to turn-based combat. It's not the same, but you can definitely feel the spirit of the original game here. For the demo, I got to play against the first boss. The boss sequences in this game are equal parts tactical and cinematic. At times it would feel like I'm playing this grandeur of a game, and it would effortlessly just transition to a cinematic that made you feel like you were watching an epic film as you advanced to the next part of the boss fight. It looked and felt amazing. The controls were sharp, responsive, and effective. Every character now is voice acted and are throwing remarks at each other even during battle, sometimes giving hints to help during the fight. Now, from what I remember from what early reports were saying, they said that this game would be released in different parts, with each game likely covering everything that was on each individual original disc. However, they will be expanding upon the story and expanding the lore behind the franchise, like Zack and Cloud's connection. This overall will create a massive increase in game time and overall story. The game was definitely running at 30 frames per second, but during my demo, there were no frame dips and it ran as smooth as 30 frames can give you. If I had any issues with this game at all, it would be that occasionally you would see minor texture popping when a cinematic would start, and Cloud's hair on the tips were a bit pixelated. In all honesty though, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the most I have been hyped for a game in a long time. Like, it's really close to Spyro and Crash levels of hype. The only major complaint that I had was the demo was not long enough. The hype is real, ladies and gentlemen, and be prepared for this game to be a blockbuster hit, because this is going to sell like hotcakes on March 3rd, 2020, for both nostalgic reasons and for sheer critic reception. I Cannot wait. By the way, a huge shout out to my Patreons and sponsors on the channel. I appreciate your support and letting me be able to do this full time as I got a family to feed. If you want to support the channel, the Patreon is in the description below, and be sure to subscribe for more nostalgic content. And while you're at it, why not check out another video I recently made? Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.